not gonna lie, I think talking about work and going back to work makes me a little bit nervous because I'm excited, but I'm also sad because I'm leaving my son. A lot of emotions, you know what I'm saying? Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karina and I am an SLPA who shares my family, speech, and lifestyle here on YouTube. I'm here to share with you guys everything about my job, not like details, but the fact that I am going back to work and what this means for YouTube as far as speech content. Start with job updates and what I can kind of share with you guys regarding my job this school year. So I am going into my 4th year working in the school setting. Yay, that's so exciting. And I am getting my caseload reduced pretty dramatically. So last year, if you've been following me for a while or if you're new here and don't know, I had last year 2 schools that I was managing, I guess you could say, and it was a lot. I've been doing 2 schools since I've been in the school setting. Now this year I'm only gonna have 1 campus, which is really exciting because I feel like that means I get to go all in, you know what I mean? I get to kind of decorate my space this time. I get to focus more on the speech therapy, like the quality of speech therapy that I'm giving. Oh my gosh, I wish I could share with you guys. Last year, like the exact number of groups or the number of kids I had per group were really high. I'm just gonna keep it at that. And it was sad because I knew I couldn't take in everybody's goal in that 1 30-minute speech session. I kind of had to use my best judgment and think, you know, who do I really need to focus on today? Who did I not focus on last week? Whose goal can I kind of wait on? It was a lot to do last year. So the fact that I'm getting less of a caseload this year is super, super exciting. That's my number 1 thing, like focusing on quality speech therapy this year. I also think I get to give myself some sort of lunch break, hopefully, fingers crossed. I always plan for that every year. But if you are in the speech field, then you totally get me when I say sometimes I have no lunch break. A lot of times I don't. If I do get a break, it's probably 5 minutes, it's probably 2 minutes, or it's probably in between sessions, during sessions, at the start of it. It sucks. I always try to have a lunch break, so that's something I'm really trying to do this year. A big thing to note is that I'm still working with pre-K through 12th grade, so I think that's important when it comes to my speech content and the things I share on YouTube, because I feel like I get people from all realms, like all settings, and if you're here for tips, then that's something that's good to note, right? I'm still working with all grade levels. Let's focus a little bit more on the exciting things and what I previously mentioned that I'm excited about. Number 1 is space. I don't know if I'm gonna have the same space as last year. I briefly shared on here how I was able to have some sort of wall that I stretch out and I get a private space, and I have a whiteboard that was there last year. I had a little thing up on the wall that would hold papers. It was amazing. So I'm hoping I get that same space this year, but if not, I mean, I'm planning to show you guys how I'm gonna decorate my space this year, hopefully with, you know, some speech posters, or I say posters, but I'm really talking about frames, picture frames, where I'm just gonna print out, or yeah, right, I'm just gonna print out like something speech related to put up on the wall, hopefully. Because again, since I'm only gonna be at 1 campus this year, I get to focus a little bit more on that. I'm not gonna be, you know, hopping from one place to the other. I don't have to worry about someone taking my space on days I'm not there. I'm just so excited about that. I really am. The second thing is the quality of therapy that I'm seriously so excited about. I get to, you know, since I do have 1 campus, I already know like generally the students that I'm going to be seeing, generally their goals, what they are. So I am very, very much focused on who is going to get, you know, this amount of time and what am I going to really do for this amount of time versus having to mix it all up. It was just really hard last year. What this means for YouTube, of course, is that I'm going to create a lot more speech content. For the summer, I don't know if you kind of noticed, but I was doing a lot more vlogs because it's, you know, my work life is not the center of my summer. My summer is centered around my son and making progress with him. So I was sharing a lot of my personal life on YouTube during the summertime. Now I'm also going to share with you guys some pros and some cons that I have found working in the school setting as an SLPA. The best thing, the big pro to me, is the fact that you get to work with so many grade levels, or the opportunity to work with a lot of grade levels. I feel like that's a lot of practice and a lot of experience that you get working in the school setting. It doesn't really matter like where you've come from before, but in the school setting, you're likely going to also get a high caseload, which can be good, can be bad. But the bright side of it is, again, that you get to get a lot of practice and you get to, you know, work with For example, maybe stuttering, you get to work with pre-K and you get to work with 5th grade. So they're going to be very, very different in how you plan an activity, for example. So I think that's awesome that you get so much experience. Number 2, which I find the most heartwarming, is that you generally are going to get the same students, right? If they're not being dismissed year after year, you're gonna have about the same students, and it's gonna be a face that remembers you. Even if they're no longer in speech, let's say Johnny, you saw him 1st grade and then by 3rd grade he's no longer in speech, but he's still attending this school. So he's going to remember you. You're walking down the hallway, he's gonna say, oh, hey, how are you? I think that's very sweet, just that kids get to know you a little bit more and then they remember you once you're out of speech. My biggest thing is that I hope I leave an impact on kids. For example, I've had someone who has told me, hey, you're the one who taught me how to tie my shoes. And that was just so heartwarming because I was like, oh, you remember that. And he's much older now, You get to watch them really grow year by year. And this goes, I would assume it's the same for a lot of other settings, but I really like it in the school setting because I, work with middle school and high school as well. So if I see a kid from, let's say, 3rd grade and then in 6th grade, they're still in speech for whatever reason, it's cool to see them kind of transform and get older and see what's different about them. It's just neat in my opinion. Number 3, and I think a lot of people know this already, is the time that you get off. That's a big, big pro in my opinion, especially for someone who plans to have a family. I just think the school setting is where it's at. Personally, I already knew that when I wanted a family, I wanted to end up in the school setting one way or another, because you get the summers off, you get the holidays that they get off, you get, sick days, personal days, your days to take off, for your mental health, whatever it is, you get time off in addition to all the holidays you already get off plus summers. A couple of cons I would say is, number 1 is that, again, you're very likely to get a high caseload, at least your 1st year. I thought 2 schools was very manageable, but looking back now, I think I should have asked for help a lot sooner. 2 schools was definitely a lot, but that's just the nature of the job. It's something you are likely gonna expect. Second con, of course, as we all know, is spacing. You're not promised a speech room, for example. You're not promised a space every single day that you may need it. You're not promised somewhere consistent, really. So that kind of sucks because you don't know where you're going to be every day. Generally, I like to claim a space and I like to make it known to the staff, hey, where is my space? So that whoever's assigning me that spot is the next person I go to if a problem comes up. I have someone who's my next point of contact, but it doesn't always happen that way. Another con is that you're likely to get little to no lunch break. If you're, again, in the speech field, you completely understand that you are busy. There's always something coming up, always. So you can plan for a lunch break of 30 minutes, but you're likely going to be doing something else. Or you can plan to get in a 5-minute break here and something's going to come up. It's just, again, the nature of the job. Last con, which isn't so bad, but it's still a con in my opinion, is that you have to be working around other schedules, of course, grade levels, teachers, meetings, field trips. You have to work around testing days, which is really big in the school setting. So your schedule is very, very likely going to change. What you start off with in August and share, you distribute, you print out for teachers is very likely going to change at least 2 times by the end of the school year. And again, because that's testing, that's field trips, you get new kids, people get moved around, or now we have to add this to their services. It's always something going on. Overall, I just feel a lot of emotions. I'm excited, of course, to go back and see my students and to claim my space and decorate my space and be at the school that I'm going to be at this year. I'm excited about all that, but of course, the other side of me is also pretty sad because I was getting used to all this extra time that I had with my son. I got to watch him grow a lot this summer. I got to give him a lot of new experiences. I got to do a lot with my son, so that part of me is kind of sad, but it'll be okay. I'm also super excited to come back on YouTube for speech content. I didn't leave, I guess, but I was getting used to the vlogs and stuff, and I know a lot of people originally followed me for a lot of the SLPA content, so I'm here to tell you that is coming back. I'm gonna do another Q&A soon. I plan on showing you guys outfits. I have lots of ideas. I have plans, you know, for the first day of school, like a vlog style thing. I'm gonna take you guys along as I decorate, kind of plan to decorate my space if I get a space. I plan on recording all that and sharing that with you guys here on YouTube. So if you did like this video, please make sure to give my video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel as well. It'll mean so much to me, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye.